lonesome whistle way down at St. Antonio. Well, when I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always get good, boy, don't ever play with guns. Yeah, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. And when I hear that lonesome whistle, I hang my head and cry. And I bet there's Rick Montana in a fancy dining car. They're probably drinking whiskey and smoking big cigars. Well, I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. And I hear that lonesome whistle, and that's what tortures me. Torture me, child. And that's what tortures me. When if they free me from this prison and they're ever transplant, you know I'll pick it all up, move it falling down the line. Find some folks in prison is where I long to be. And then people keep moving, and that's what tortures me. Yeah, the people keep moving, and that's what tortures me. Yeah. Thank you. We are Ghosts.
Good morning, my beautiful crime family. Jeez, that was us 13 years ago, or 12, going on 13 years. Unbelievable how time goes by, isn't it? That was quite a show we had last night. First, I feel really embarrassed about this, but I gotta say it. This my new little guy coffee cup with the guitar. I got that in an email from somebody, and I downloaded it right away, and I was going to thank them and everything, and I haven't had a job of time since then. I haven't had a job of time, and it's been either 7 days or this is the 8th day or something like that. And of course, many emails have gone by, and I can't remember who it was that sent me this cute little coffee cup with holding the guitar. So was it you? Is Nikki in here? It might have been Nikki, but whoever it did, please send me an email, slap me alongside the head for forgetting. And I went back, and I can't find it in my emails for some reason. So, yeah. Anyway, that was quite the show last night. I think that might be the longest show I've ever done on my channel. I think it's pretty close, but it was a good one with a lot of good information. And let me say hi to my crime family. And good morning to everybody on Once Upon a Crime Times Java Time, and I'm your host, Tommy Dude. And good morning, Natural, my girl, and Valencia. Valencia, is it how you pronounce it? Good morning to you. And Patrina, good to see you, and good morning. And Mrs. John E. Knapp, good morning to you. Thank you. And Carla, good to see you, and good morning. Dancing again. And who else we got chatting away? Debbie Gazzardo, my girl, good morning to you. And Dana Lynn, good morning to you. And what was it you said up here? You said something. I was going to say something. No, I can't remember that either. It's really a bummer getting old, man. Oh, the weather. Yeah, it's 109 in Tennessee. Are you serious? Wow. It's right. I'll tell you what it is here. I got my phone. Well, my phone's in the other room. Or wait, it's 63. 63 and cloudy. So yeah, a little bit. June. I suppose that's average for this time in the morning, but we haven't really had any warm weather like 80 degrees or nothing. Kind of bummer. So anyway, good morning to everybody. And who was all here last night? I haven't when Dana, right now it's a beautiful state. 11,000 lakes. Who all was here last night? And what did you think of what I said at the end? I want to know if you agree with what I said. I don't want to give it away because I want people to go watch the video for the ones that haven't watched it yet. So the ones that were here last night, what do you think about the BAM, the thunder that I said at the end? I just want to know, do you agree or don't agree, or in between, or, say agree, disagree, or middle. How about that? Yeah, you'll have to go check it out, Mrs. John E. Knapp. You'll have to go check it out. They wouldn't stop talking. Right. Okay, Pacino agrees, it looks like. Oh, good morning, all. And yeah, it did seem that way. It was a rush putting that together, to tell you the truth. Yeah, thank you, Natural. Yeah, it was kind of a rush putting that together, and changing my mind on that, just because I seen some things, and it just made me start thinking that it had to be that it had to be that. And with nowadays technology, and people, they think, oh, how could so many people be involved in all this and that? Well, you know what? I believe in that audio because that audio, like the whisper boxes, you just can't. And in the things that were said, there's just too much. There's just too much. And I'm not saying nothing happened at Linda Lane. It's not what I'm saying. That's not. So I wanted to make sure that everybody's clear on that. But when we're talking about the reflections, I do believe what I said last night. But anyway, so that's what I got to say on that. And, you know, I think there will be some pleasant surprises coming on the channel at some point soon. And yeah, it is natural. It is becoming clearer all the time. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I was talking about the FBI, you know, popping in. Right now, they don't get along. And I mean, that's pretty much a proven fact. The FBI and Moscow LE do not get along. And it might run deeper than we think. It might be, yeah, there's a parallel investigation going on. It could be the FBI is investigating Moscow LE. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, especially after LE treated them the way they did. And if that's happening, oh, it's going to come down. Why would you be a police department and just go piss off the FBI? Why? Why would you do that? Unless you're hiding something. The FBI isn't dumb. They're not dumb. I think this case is going to get crazier than it is right now. I truly, truly believe that. Oh boy. Yeah, same here, Natural. Same here. I will. Right. Exactly, Cyber. Yeah, I agree, Nat. They said, there you go. Yeah, exactly. All right, Valencia. You know what? That's a good point, Patrina. That's a really good point. Says yes, LE being investigated. I believe that's why a lot of retirement. I bet you some LE know what's going on. Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that, Cyber. And good morning to you. Yeah, could be higher. Could be Department of Justice themselves, because that's a pretty major thing. Quadruple, and then you have maybe dirty LE. Yeah, that's pretty high on the list. Nikki, good morning. Nikki, I got to ask you, I'm embarrassed to ask, did you send me this little guitar, this coffee cup with the guitar guy? Was that you? I'm trying to, because I downloaded it like a week ago and I was going to say thank you to whoever sent it to me. And then I haven't done Java time for a week or over. So was that you, Nikki? If it was you, I thank you very much. If not, then I'm still looking. I look back at my emails and I can't find it. So was it you? Okay. All right. Well, I'll find out. So they're gonna watch this and send me a slap in the face in the email. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about with Kohlberger. And there's so much more to talk about, but I ran across a story, I think, and I hope if this video gets shut down, I'm sorry. Okay? If this video gets shut down, I'm sorry. But I think the message to this video is more important than them shutting me down and maybe me getting the copyright strike. I mean, really, it's that, to me, it's that important of a message. Because I've kind of known this for a long time, you know, and I think everybody has, but I don't think they realize how bad this really is. And I'm going to present this to you, and you'll know what I'm talking about. This is a very informative video, and it comes from the Forbes Breaking News Department, and it was released yesterday, so that's one reason I'm a little leery about running it, but it is too important. If you have never subscribed to Forbes, I highly recommend it. I'm subscribed. I've been subscribed to them since I don't know how many years, probably 20 years. Anyway, and the link is in the description. The link is in the description. And this is a former FBI that wrote a book. So it's about his book, of course, but the statistics will blow you away.
Shopify Point of Sale makes it easy to start and grow your retail business. All backed by the wonderful commerce platform. Whether you're running a retail shop or online store, from startup to scaled up, Shopify is the commerce platform you can trust with your business.
I'm going to skip this, and
the best way to handle
ad blocker back
$30,000 or more in credit card debt is not with minimum payments that could take decades. National Debt Relief will help you consolidate your debt in
look for when I interviewed those victims who survived.
Joining me now is Frank Figliuzzi, former FBI Assistant Director and author of Long Haul. Frank, thanks so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure, and also I'm grateful that you're part of shedding light on this rather dark scenario on our highways.
Of course, it was a really disturbing trend, what you uncovered, what you ended up following, and that's the trend of murders on the United States highways. There's hundreds of them, and a lot of them at the hands of truck drivers. So can you talk to us about that trend and why we are seeing it?
Yeah, so Long Haul is the true crime account of the FBI's Highway Serial Killings Initiative. And the numbers in that initiative are staggering. In fact, they were shocking enough to get me out there back on the road as an investigator, riding long haul over 2,000 miles. So here are the numbers that are part of the initiative. 850 murders alongside our nation's highways, almost entirely sex trafficked women. There are currently 200 of those murders that are considered active and unsolved. And when I asked the FBI, how many suspects are you looking at in those unsolved cases, the answer was 450.
Those numbers are staggering. And you talked to the analyst who led the Highway Serial Killings Initiative. What was your biggest takeaway from that conversation? Because a really interesting passage of the book, if you don't mind, is how she was able to compartmentalize. She was eating her lunch, looking at really grisly details. She was able to compartmentalize. But what were your takeaways from the conversation?
So I think first, here's a confession from an FBI agent. You won't see that often. I have to confess, even with 25 years as an FBI agent, retiring as an assistant director, I did not know all the details of this very dark initiative within the behavioral analysis units at Quantico, Virginia, at the FBI Academy. So first and foremost, I was surprised by the scope of this and the number of years this killing has been going on, and that it's still continuing. Secondly, as you said, with the compartmentalization necessary for the crime analysts who work this, it is necessary because the evil and cruelty that I saw in these cases, I have never seen before in my FBI career.
I mean, there was one point in the book, I won't give anything away, this is at the beginning, but you were talking about a certain crime, and the perpetrator took a photo of the girl, called the girl's father, and then sent the photo to the family. I mean, it was so disturbing. I put the book down and I went out and I told my mom about it. I was that disturbed. So you covered a lot of killers in this book, the redheaded murders, the truck stop killer. Is there one case or one detail that stuck out to you?
Oh gosh, they're all just jarring, but you are describing the case involving Robert Ben Rhodes, arguably the worst, most evil long-haul trucker killer in American history. Victims, 50 murder victims over several years, and he was only arrested when an Arizona state trooper saw his rig with hazard lights flashing alongside the highway. The trooper strolled up to the rig and heard a woman screaming. She was shackled, naked, in a makeshift torture chamber within the rig, and that began the unraveling of Robert Ben Rhodes. Now, the photo you're describing was his last known murder victim. 14-year-old Regina Walters was hitchhiking with her boyfriend outside of Houston. He grabbed them, he killed the boyfriend, and then for several weeks proceeded to rape and torture Regina. And that ghastly photo was her last known photo alive that Rhodes took of her. She was pleading for her life.
To really get inside the mindset of a trucker, you actually went on a week-long ride along, not with a serial killer, but a trucker that you named Mike in the book. Can you talk about that experience for us?
Yeah, I mean, generally, which is then we're in goods. He's passionate about his profession, but I had to experience this. We happened to ride flatbed, so that's a unique kind of long-haul trucking. We were physically engaged with the load. We were part of the U.S. economy, as all truckers are. I mean, the economy of trucking is staggering. Last year alone, $875 billion in gross freight revenue. Grocery stores would run out of groceries in 3 days if truckers stopped trucking. And we were part of that. We were hauling drywall for the housing industry, flooring and lumber for housing, aluminum rods that ended up being delivered to a Department of Defense ammunitions manufacturer. So I learned a lot. I slept in the rig. We cooked and ate in the rig. And I'm here to tell you, those truckers deserve all the money they can earn because they are essential workers.
Yeah, you called them essential workers in the book, and you talked to Mike, who is a trucker of present day, but you also talked to someone you named Dale, who was a trucker from the past. Can you talk about the differences in the industry over the past decades?
Yeah, great question, because I wanted to cover the spectrum of where trucking has been and where it is now. And no surprise, yes, I spoke to a 40-year veteran who has driven every imaginable kind of truck, from dry vans to reefers, which are refrigerator, low boys, wide loads, heavy loads. He's done it all. But specifically, I wanted to trace the kind of evolution of trucking. Today, it's high tech, it's modern. There are trackers, there's GPS, there's cameras facing into the cab of the truck and outside the cab of the truck. There's e-logs that register the speed and movement of the truck and what the trucker is doing in terms of unloading or sleeping. All of that plays into my investigative theories about truckers that are more likely to kill, the kinds of trucking that leads more likely to killers. I had to ask that hard question because I wanted to reduce that 450 suspects to a more manageable number.
And you asked that question to Mike, and he had a really interesting answer. He thinks it's dependent on the type of truck the trucker drives. Can you talk about his theory a little bit, and then what you come up with without obviously giving too much away from the book?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just who I am to ask the question, who's doing this and more likely to do it. So look, there's various kinds of trucking. Yes, the whole profession is isolating. It tends to be more antisocial. But when you get into the weeds, the guy or gal who's doing the flatbed is loading and unloading and has to know math and physics, weight distribution, points of securement. Do I have too much weight over one axle? Can I load my gas tanks today, or will that put me overweight? Do I chain this load or strap the load? All of that is vastly different levels of engagement, physical activity than, say, dry vanners who are hauling a load of dry goods across the country. Their physical activity is virtually non-existent. They don't load the truck. They just open that back door. They are isolated. They can be antisocial. That is what I theorize lends itself more and attracts more the person with the predisposition of violence.
And it seemed like in your book, because parts of it go through you on the road, the other parts you're talking to doctors, analysts, sex trafficking victims, and it almost seems like this perfect storm, because you have these truckers who are isolated, who are on the road, and then you have these victims of sex trafficking who end up being the victims of a serial killer and get into the hands of them. So can you talk about that perfect storm a bit for us?
Yeah, there's a reason why the number one profession of serial killers is long haul trucking. It affords them tremendous license to kill on open stretches of highway through rural areas, and they're exploiting the seams in law enforcement. They'll grab that target victim of opportunity, that sex trafficked victim, very vulnerable because she's all about getting up close and personal with that trucker and vice versa. They grab her in one jurisdiction, they kill and or rape her in a second police jurisdiction, and they dump the remains in a third. That creates a moving crime scene, and it's very difficult for law enforcement to meet that challenge. Add to that factor that there's often no family members that are demanding justice. They don't even know their loved one is missing. There's no one championing the cause. It's my hope that this book helps to speak for those victims.
And you gave a voice to a sex trafficking victim, actually a few, but I do want to talk about Hannah, one of those women. And she started off childhood all-American girl, and she became a sex trafficking victim. So can you talk a little bit about that and some of the similarities and the trends you see in those victims that propels them into sex trafficking?
Yeah, indeed. I had to speak to arguably the top two experts in the nation on street level and truck level trafficking. They taught me the kind of things and commonalities to look for when I interviewed those victims who survived violent encounters with truckers. And I did find, as I'm speaking to the victims, I have a checklist that was given to me in my head, and I'm checking the boxes. What are those boxes? Early childhood trauma, often in the form of unwanted touching or worse, and then a tower of trauma that stacks up in their family life. There could be death of a parent or major illness or suicides or domestic violence. And then early exposure to drug use, usually starting with marijuana, then a series of really bad boyfriends. Here comes the hard drugs, the grooming, the recruiting, the rationalization. I'm already having sex. I might as well have sex for money. It will help pay for the drugs. It's what my boyfriend wants me to do. That was common across all socioeconomic and racial and ethnic categories. If you've got an idea of who you think is trafficked out there and you think it would never happen to someone in your circle or network, throw that idea out the window. Because as you said, I interviewed a preacher's daughter. I interviewed a college student from.
I want to talk now about some comments Mike made, because you had a
This is, you think about everything we're so into Kohlberger sometimes that we forget and few other cases, Sebastian Rogers, and we forget what's going on is so much worse. It's so much worse. There's 450 truckers, serial killers out there right now, and that's the ones they know of. I mean, that's scary as hell. And it's not just that, they're sex trafficking them. They're selling them. I just, where is this all going to end? Think about everything in the world. You know what I'm saying? Where is this going to end? And how did it get this bad? It's to me, very, very sad.
A really interesting relationship with Mike. I mean, you described him being a hard worker. He was fast on his feet. He was able to move the truck weight or the things inside of his truck based on weight because there was too much weight on one axle. He also made some pretty disparaging comments about women. He would get misogynistic about women cutting him off. He doesn't think women should be truck drivers. And obviously, if you make some misogynistic comments, that doesn't mean you end up being a serial killer. But do you think that these opinions about women in this industry could lend to itself to more women hatred that would lead it to be the industry with the most serial killers?
Yeah, so good news, bad news. You're right. The bad news part is he did seem to have a prejudice against women drivers. And I noticed, and I cited in the book, that whenever, we'd see a male trucker make an error on the road, he never said, "Oh, there's a male driver for you." But when we saw a female driver do it, he was sure to point it out. The good news is I didn't see hatred of women for Mike, but you better believe in the serial killers I feature in the book, you are absolutely dealing with severe misogynistic, even misanthropic hatred of humans behavior. And interestingly, Brittany, often extending back into childhood and abuse from parents, abuse from a mother or absent mother. And now the projection of that bitterness and anger seems to be projected onto their female victims.
And you pose the question in the book, the nature versus nurture. Does a serial killer become a trucker, or does a trucker become a serial killer? What do you think? What do you make of this after all of your research, after being on the road? What's the answer?
Yeah, this is complicated. It's not binary. It's not one or the other. The answer is it's both nature and nurture. What do I mean? We know that serial killers often start in the womb with genetic and DNA things, brain synapses not working, brain chemistry not there. Now add into that abuse and trauma in childhood, even sexual abuse at times. I talk about Timothy Vafides, the vampire trucker. He had a horribly abusive childhood himself. It's not uncommon to see here. Now, you've got that isolated personality. You've got someone who seriously does not want to engage with humans, health situation, and they seem to gravitate toward that number one profession for serial killers, long haul trucking. And once they get into that profession, it suddenly dawns on them that they literally could get away with anything if they wanted to.
Long haul truckers, it's an essential job for really the structure of this country, but also at the same time, it's the industry with the most serial killers. So what do you think the fix is here?
Yeah, I didn't want to write just the book that said, here's a scary problem, have a nice day. I wanted to offer solutions, success, things that I've seen out there. So let's talk about trucking, for example. In the trucking part of the book, I offer, some mitigation of risk. For example, we've got to get better at vetting and background investigation of our truckers. I talk about second chance programs in long haul trucking that I think in concept are excellent. They hire ex-cons, give them gainful employment, and make them part of our society again. I'm all for that. But if you are willy-nilly strategically hiring all comers, regardless of what offenses they've committed, then you're failing us in terms of safety. You got to get in the weeds on their offenses. Is it rape? Is it crimes against women, violence, domestic violence? Those things need to stay out of trucking and hiring. Also, training. I'm a big advocate for spending a half an hour during your commercial driver's license training, your CDL training, for awareness, for anti-trafficking. There's a private group out there called Truckers Against Trafficking, or TAT, that trains truckers. They give Hero Trucker Awards every year for truckers who spot trafficking and rescue someone. So that's all good. And then the health situation, Brittany, this is such an unhealthy career. Eating right, exercising, virtually impossible on the road. And I think we've got to get healthcare incentives with the big corporate companies and get those drivers some incentives to get healthier.
You were in the FBI for 25 years. I mean, you saw crime every day. This was your field. Covering this, what surprised even you as an former FBI director?
Yeah, two things. First, the cruelty and level of violence in these particular killings, the trucker killer, was unlike any I've ever seen. The repeated raping and torturing, the hanging Regina Walters from fishhooks in the back of the rig, unbelievable cruelty, calling her father and saying, I've made some changes, I cut her hair. I mean, all of this. So that's number one. Number two, I was amazed by the length of time it's taking to solve a particular killing, years before they even know the identity of the victim, let alone who killed her.
And is it possible now, do you think, with technology, because there is this increased awareness on highway killings, that they will become more easily solvable? They will be able to connect the dots a bit, find a serial killer, and weed them out?
Yeah, a couple of good progress points being made. First, the FBI is succeeding in its mission to market this program to local, county, and state police who have to enter their data on their cold cases into the FBI Highway Serial Killings Initiative database. It's garbage in, garbage out. The FBI can't help you solve what they don't know about. So number one, that seems to be getting out there, and this book should help with that. Secondly, technology is also helping with regard to tracking trucks. And I am an advocate for mandated GPS tracking of all trucks, regardless of whether it's big corporate or whether it's a mom and pop company. We need that tracking. And I think that is bringing some numbers down and will help solve. I didn't mention genetic DNA. Genealogical DNA is starting to solve these cold cases and connecting the dots between cases that are years apart.
Yeah.
Now, that's what IGG is made for right there. That is solving a lot of cold cases, and that's what it was designed to do. But there is so many. I mean, I don't, even before I started this channel, I'm talking like years ago, because it always just bothers me, all these missing people. And I looked up every state one night, just looking through and reading stories. And it might have been a couple, 2-3 nights. Because, I mean, I was really disturbed. And because they'll show pictures of them in the morgue and stuff to try to get people to identify them. There's some sites that do that. I don't know if you have ever looked look up your state's missing sometime. Just look it up just Google it, and you'll find sites, and it's just really disturbing. And and it just keeps going on and on and on, and it seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. And not all truck drivers are bad. I mean, I have a lot of truck driving friends actually, and good people and everything. And but I also know one that makes me think too. But overall, the thousands and thousands of trucks that are out there, it's just really crazy. And I maybe they should do some kind of a mandatory psychology tests. You know what I mean? Some kind of test before they work for you or something. I don't know. Something has to be done. There has to be something that works better than what's going on right now.
There was one in the book where there was DNA involved, and then they could find out the perpetrator based on, oh, these were their parents, and it was one of their 4 sons. So it's just incredible stuff what technology has been able to do.
Yeah, and it's helping the good guys also solve these cases. The FBI database is about the algorithms that, hey, we saw this before. We've seen this crime scene before 10 years ago. We've seen this not used to strangle a girl. We've seen this positioning. We've seen the cutting of the hair or this mutilation. That's technology solving problems.
Frank Figliuzzi, a fantastic read. Where can viewers get your book?
Yeah, it's out now. We're in the 3rd printing in 3 weeks already, and you can get it anywhere you buy books, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or your favorite private bookstore, your favorite independent bookstore.
Big congrats on the book. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks. Thank you.
So yeah, I don't know. What else can we do, people? What else can they do to make it, harder for these people to do these kind of crimes like that? I mean, is that what some of these truck drivers actually, is that why they become truck drivers? You know what I mean? I mean, is it like a premeditated, I'm going to become a truck driver and pick up girl hitchhikers, and you know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of freaky. It's kind of freaky. And then they get a lot of cover because it's kind of a group thing, you know what I mean? It's almost like bikers, you know what I mean? It's like bikers. So what I gotta say to all you good truckers out there is yeah, be your group, but keep your eyes open, because the person that you talk to at the truck stop, one of the fellow truckers, could be somebody that's doing this kind of stuff. So, I would have to ask that of truckers, is just keep your eyes open and your ears listening, I guess that's what I got to say this morning. I guess that's it, and another Java time, right? I kind of missed it, but I was not feeling so good. I'm feeling a little better now. What's that? Chili. Uh, a lot of addicts have turned to SEX work to afford their habit, and they've told me they never thought they would have done it, and then they say it's not that big of a deal to them now. Risky, says Shelley. Yes, that is risky, and I know what goes on at the truck stops. Um, you know, it's well known fact. I mean, you know, and that's a scary thing, and I'm sure a lot of those girls end up missing, and a lot of those type of girls, you know, they have no support, no, you know, they've lost track of their families, and they're, you know, or they don't talk to their families much because they feel ashamed of what they're doing. You know, there's just so much that lays into this kind of stuff. It's not just they end up missing. The story is so much bigger. You know what I mean? And there's lives. It's their lives, you know? It's people's lives. It doesn't matter if they're junkies or what. They're people. They're living people. And they're getting snuffed out. Exactly, Toes. Exactly, Toes. Unfortunately, he says, unfortunately, predators come in many industries: teachers, doctors, police, truckers, cab drivers, etc. Yeah, they come in all shapes. And that's why, you know, nowadays we need to keep our ears open and our eyes open. And, you know, sometimes it's little things. They can give themselves away. Do you know what I mean? Just in body language, even in body language, which, you know, I was trained in the 16 personalities. Okay, I was trained in that. And in body language, and that kind of almost were together. Um, and sometimes you can just odd things, you know, and then if you know somebody that has some odd things, you just watch them a little more. You just, you know, like you form a neighborhood watch. You know what I'm saying? But this is a United States watch. I think people are just so busy living their lives that they don't pay attention to a lot of the details that are happening around them. It's such a fast, you know what? Fast food did this. Fast food did this to our country. Everything needs to go fast. And you know why it's going fast? We're missing so much because we don't slow down to take in what's happening right now. Am I going off in a crazy direction or what? I don't know. Anyway. Right. Exactly, Mrs. Johnny Knapp. Exactly. It used to be easy to pick out the weirdos. You're exactly right. Yeah, it's getting harder to. It is. It's getting harder to. No doubt about it. Gotta stay dangerous nowadays. Yeah. I mean, gotta be ready for anything and everything. You know, I showed that one. Oh, you know what? I didn't line up any shorts for today. Oh, we might have to go look at it today. I don't think I did. No, I didn't. What was I saying? I forgot now. I lost my chain of thought here. Staying dangerous to nowadays. Yeah, we really do. It's just so different. It's just so different. Let's go looking for some shorts. I don't want to end it on. Yeah, you know me in on what time. I don't like it to talk so deep usually. I like to keep it light. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go looking for some shorts. And I will find some. And by the way, what is the date today? Today is the 20th. Tonight is going to be Rory on Thou Shalt Not Kill True Crime. And he has special guest Manama D from 1111 True Crime. And that's that's today at 2 p.m. it says. Huh. I wonder if you got that right or not. Possibly. I'll have to check on that on the time. But anyway, he is going to have Mama D on tonight, or today. Okay, so let's run some shorts. Oh, I'll run this one. I'll definitely run this one because you know why? You all know her. if you're a fan of this channel, you all know her. I didn't even see this one before. I want to look at it. And here we are. Look at this short right here. Oh, yes. It's taking long enough to load. Oh, it jumps. What happened here? Okay. Oh boy, this is taking a while. What's going on? Oh, come on.
first it was that we were always just hanging around donut shops and that's all we did. Now it's like, we're involved with this. Even the defense attorneys, when she said the knife sheath was placed, they're trying to point that at us, like that we set this up. Although I got to give her a benefit of doubt now, because I used to say that's all that must have meant. But it's possible that the killer took the sheath out and placed it himself. First it was that we were always just hanging around donut shops and that's all we did. Now it's like, we're involved with this. Even the defense attorneys, when she said the knife sheath was placed, they're trying to point that at us, like that we set this up. Although I got to give her a benefit of doubt now, because I used to say that's all that must have meant. But it's possible that the killer took the sheath out and placed it himself. First it was that we were always just hanging around donut.
What'd she say?
That was a dude.
No,
That was fully a dude. Oh my god.
He's coming. He's
Oh
coming.
my God.
Stop. He looks dangerous. He looks dangerous. Hey, go around him. Go around him. Move. Where's he coming? Oh shoot, he's coming.
Oh my god.
Shoot.
He's following us.
Shoot, babe, go.
Oh
Go,
my
babe,
God.
go.
I'm going.
Shoot. Beside us.
He's
What's he
scary.
doing? Just go right. Look, he's signaling at us. Gang signs, I figure. This home.
I'm literally
They pulled in.
police.
They literally pulled in.
Inside and locked the door. Through the glass.
I'm not recording. Okay, I'm recording. We don't want to roll down the window.
Stop joking with that. Come on, keep on going.
This is enough. You can.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to turn that camera off, please, right now.
I'm going to ask you to give me $5. Can you do that? Give me $5.
All right, sir. You're not
Yeah,
helping
see-
your cause any here.
What cause, sir? I'm simply asking you for $5. It's a request, right? You don't have to give me $5. I don't have to turn the camera off.
This is all part of the court area. And I'm, as the judge, I'm asking you to turn the camera
You're
off.
asking me, but
I
I
am.
can decline.
Okay. Sir, I'm going to ask you to turn that camera off, please, right now.
Who the hell is this?
I don't know, but I am guessing it's not good.
Is it true? The bitch is dead?
If you're referring to my mother, then yes, but I'm the only one who gets to call her names. Whoa, hold on.
No, can't do. Your mom's got something that belongs to us, and we want it back. Get out of the way now.
Yeah, it's a nice gun. I got one of those too. But I also have one of these.
Who the hell is this?
I don't know, but I am guessing it's...
This gentleman says that I'm not permitted to dine here.
No, you don't understand. He's playing tonight. He's the main event.
Everything all right?
No, it's not all right. This guy's saying Dr. Shirley can't eat here.
I apologize, but these are long-standing.
Hey! Little girl!
Isn't that illegal? Huh? Isn't that illegal? That's illegal. No leash.
What does this look like? What would you call this?
Yeah, but she wasn't even holding it.
He doesn't need me to hold it. And you're interrupting my dog training.
Hey!
The attorney walks out after the judge continues without the prosecutor present. The judge acts like nothing happened.
I told my boss that 3 companies were after me and I needed a raise. Which companies are after you? He said. I said gas, electric, cable. I told my boss that 3 companies were after me, and I need.
What do aliens like to eat? It's just unidentified frying objects. What do aliens like to eat?
What would you do if I door dinged your vehicle, huh?
I'm gonna kick. I am gonna. One second. I'm gonna kick your ass.
What would you do if I door dinged?
These people beside
Have fun with the boys. I love you. Go crazy tonight, okay? Have fun with the boys. I love you. Go crazy.